Here we go. Back at it again. We gonna ride this fucking tractor for 9 hours. Oh, that's it. I'm gonna dump this silage into this motherfucking machine all fucking day. So if you want to catch up, because I realize that I can't broadcast every minute of this game. So when something significant happens, or I make some kind of after a few purchases, I'll come back on and share with you what I've done. But for the most part, it's pretty rinse and repeat. I have tried other options, which is why I'm still doing silaging. I've tried some options that are just I'm not at that point in the game that I really want to put up with it. So, and I'm hoping that with my recent purchase of Farming Simulator 19, I will have a little bit more entertainment for you. But when it comes to this game, it's not fully. It's not. The game isn't about fast-paced, uh, quick-witted decisions, that are life or death. It's simply a farm, and it's pretty impossible to fail. Uh, Considering that some people, especially farmers in real life, don't have all this equipment in order to do stuff. So, but on a pure industrial scale, this is kind of how it works. The food industry, honestly, I think should be a food industry. It should be an entire, well, definitely not an industry, but it's something that it can't fully belong to one person. So, because there's so much work to do that if you did it all by hand without these machines, which are hard to fucking find. This is potato planting, by the way. This is my first attempt at growing potatoes, and I intend to, with my pile of silage, buy a potato harvester, so it should be ready to harvest by the time um, I get that money. Which a lot of the time I'm playing on either real time or 5 time or 120 time. So, and I try to time it so that my fields are lined up. As you can see, this is canola. I've gone back to trying to harvest normal uh, uh, auto harvest stuff. Like, silage takes a lot of your focus in the game. You actually have to mow. You actually have to be there to collect the silage. You actually have to be there to collect the silage. So it's a full-on immersive venture. But I have spent the money on a larger harvester so that my farming method is pretty much automatic. I only have to spend a few minutes at a time, and occasionally I get 50,000 bucks. Or I think my last drop off was about 50,000. So, and that's just off 2 fields. I think 2, maybe 3. Let me check. Yep, number 12 is those potatoes. Number 10 and number 17 are both canola, and I've actually altered those fields to make it easier for harvest. Because that on 10 you'll see has that little dick hanging off. Uh, if I don't, it's actually more cost effective and less work for me as a person to turn that into grass and let the harvester go in a long pattern, then it would be a sideways pattern. Like, okay, so if I was doing this along number 10, it would have to turn around more chances to get hit by a car, and it would be harder, and more often I would have to turn my cart to collect. So if I make it go long, where am I? Where's my hand? If I make it go long ways, again, this is number 10, and cut off that little dick, it saves me a bunch of work. All I have to do is drive over there twice with the trailer, unload, and then I get almost 30,000 bucks off of that. Number 17 requires more work, obviously, because it's wider, but as you can see, it has a little bulge, a little belly. I'm in process of altering these fields to make it more efficient, so that I have to return less, and actually not just return, but turn less, because these turns are what take up all your fucking time and make this whole task annoying. So what I've done, and I will show you, is at the bottom of the map, you'll see 19, 20, and 21. I have connected all of those fields into one really long field as efficiently as possible. It's still a work in progress, but I can harvest in one go. Not harvest the whole field, but or gather. But I only have to hire one guy at a time to do everything. Instead, I had to have these two fields going with a plow, because I have to plow. So I'll show you, and we'll have to do it in this time frame. I got about 2 hours before everybody comes up, and I am jacked up on coffee, and I accomplished all my chores and called my mom. So in the meantime, Farming Simulator 19 will be downloading, and chances are once that game is ready to go, which is about 5 hours, I'm going to move on to it. Farming Simulator 15 is good. It's just now that I've actually started to enjoy it and see its capabilities of what I would enjoy out of it, I think I'm going to go for the upgrade and actually spend the money. If the game is pretty much the same, I don't necessarily need to play the old ones. It's like playing The Sims. You play Sims 1. Go back to my silage while I'm talking. Sorry, I had to come out of here because I filled that hopper, and I'm trying to use it as a chapter. I was like, okay, I can do about 7 loads of silage, and at 5 times speed of time. Eventually, the machine will stop taking any in, and I'll have to give the machine a break. I can't accelerate this process, but I'm planting potatoes, and I talked about this in my last cast. I'm pretty sure. While you're planting, if you accelerate time erratically in order to, manipulate a machine like that, it totally messes up the timing on your harvest. Instead of being able to continually harvest, I'll have to stop because I'm still waiting on stuff to grow. In which case, these fields are pretty much harvestable mostly at the same time. This one round of harvest will be my attempt to make it all in one go. So, because now all these fields connect. Instead, I had to rotate them and then coordinate. It was a lot of work. So, I made it easier. I got a few. I was able to minimize the amount of tractors that I needed at the same time too, because now these tractors are just sitting around, doing nothing. And I got a couple heavy tractors to make transport easy, and I'm working on a semi eventually. And then eventually I want to do a multi-trailer, a multi-tipper, which is actually hard to coordinate because I'm not really good at driving with a tipper on the back. So that would be the goal if I was going to continue this game. I'm sure I can have these same goals in Farming Simulator 19. So I'll probably just follow the same pattern, probably do silage because it's the good money. But I'm sure there's more to grow. I'm sure there's more. Hopefully it's not just machinery that's different, because I don't care about the machinery. I'm not playing a game for the machinery. I'm doing it for the experience. Maybe I can grow trees in Farming Simulator 19, because that would be awesome. Harvesting trees, which not forestry, like cutting trees or a pecan shaker, and or something, something really cool. I don't know why that's cool, but I don't care. I just want something different because this game is kind of basic, and so far it's just kind of like I feel like I'm playing Need for Speed for that's farming. You just get to collect a bunch of really cool vehicles and use them, bro. So only it's not Need for Speed, but if you understand my reference, then yeah. Farming Simulator is just Need for Speed for farmers. People who like to farm. Yep. Because there's people that like to drive and they can't buy the car. That's their thing. Yeah, a few people that I work with, their car is their baby. I don't understand how you have a car and not like try to make it into something big. Like he's got a Mustang that he paid to make baby blue. $3,000 it cost him to make it baby blue, and I was like, and what are you gonna do with it? I was in the car the other day, and it's like the inside is like the cheapest fucking this is on the Mustang. It's like the cheapest fucking kind of interior is what it is. The interior is like an old beat up 2004 or some shit. And I think it's a 2005. Anyway, he doesn't do anything with it. I'm like, are you gonna at least like, I don't know, advertise on Facebook, try to get some advertisements on the thing? Just no. Kind of do stuff. And a couple other guys that work there do the same thing, but you get exposed out there. I've been to car meets. I know how they work. If they're serious, they'll do it. Toy makers do money. Nah, I didn't mean to do that. 457,000. My money is going down really, actually quicker than usual. Why? Oh, I see. Potatoes, that's why. Potatoes are expensive. I learned this by watching a YouTube video. This field isn't actually that big. This is actually field number 12. So though it's about double the size of 10. Well, it's probably as wide as 10 would be with that dig. So, but that's hilltop. You can't cut that out. Or rock or whatever, stone. So I just turned it into grass. It prevents the harvester from trying to go over there. What would happen is it would go left to right on 10, and then it would finish at the bottom of the little dig, and then wouldn't finish the rest of the field. So on automatic, if you hire a worker. I have actually connected 15 and 16 will both be corn. 15 is corn. It's what I use for silage. I can harvest it for regular if I really need to. I just don't have the harvester for that yet. And so far I'm keeping up with all the silage well enough with 4 fields. So I have 19, 20, 21, and 15, and 16 will all be corn. I don't know how I feel about 16 being connected because I need to test how these things are going to run on it. Like I just ran how the machines are going to run on it. So 19, 20, and 21, I kind of have it away. If they all launch at the same spot, they'll all finish in the right area. So I'll have to manipulate different things in the automatic procedure of the working process. Because if they hit a dead end, they stop working. So if they go back and forth and they hit an end, that's it. So, but if I can create another turn that would interest them and keep going, put another row of corn, I can keep them moving and then carry them onto the next field that they're also filling out to the most part. And I'll just pave over what they're not, what I don't fucking feel like. So it's cutting some parts of the field while adding other parts to the field. So, and I can show you when we get there. Actually, we're on the wrong end. Am I on a good end anywhere to really see this? Let me back up. I bought a big trailer for this. Alright, this is the complete west side of 19. And it's hard to see because now everything is paved over, or seated. So it's going to have all the lines necessary, all the sowing lines, and you won't see what I did. But if you look at the map in comparison to what's coming up, we're not technically at the end of field 19 yet, but we are reaching the end, and there is no break. And you can see there's one line over there that wasn't planted, right over here. So we got that. I gotta get rid of that. I did get it plowed, but probably because the plow was bigger. But if I keep going, number 20 is actually a short field. It's just lower. So I'm gonna have to either remove all this to grass, and then right up here is where I've made the connection to number 21. And you can see again, I've plowed this area to clear it out to make for the pathway, and I think that's all fine. Yeah, I added in this one line right here that I'm driving on, and I think it's going to change the course later because I only needed to adjust it by like 6 feet. I've had it on one end, it'll just move it to the other end, and it may be so at the very end of 19 he'll make a turn instead of just stopping, you know. So this is a test. I'm going to wait until every single one of these is ready to go, and then I will have to plot it out, see how easy it is next harvest. But what I'm trying to do is let me get over there. Gotta fucking drive. Actually, 15 and 16 has a road running through it. So I'm gonna have to deal with cars. So I may just completely disconnect it all together and be like, fuck it. And just totally pave over 16 or turn it into something else. I don't know. 16 has only been used for grass for my first round of silage until I could buy a field to grow corn. It did ease that process a lot by having that patch of grass. And then I did it right off the bat. It just took a while to like get the game lined up with figuring out how to do it properly. So what I was saying before is that one line that I added in is going to add another round of movement to keep it going to turn around at this direction. So, and who knows, I probably won't get a couple of lines here, in which case, you know, either I can plow them over or they'll just be there in case some weird glitch I need them to be there. So I don't have wither on, so nothing will wither away, so it won't matter. And I can accelerate the time to 120. I think I've got enough for my potato harvester. So let me line up my trailer here. He's got to be ready to go. This is one of the biggest trailers. It's a semi trailer with a dolly attached, so it can now attach to trailers. I'm gonna save my silage here for more work. Let me see what's up with. Let me go to real time. Beat potato harvesting. Did I buy enough? 470. I think 2 more rounds will be enough. Because I can't sit on a couple $1,000. I need I'm gonna probably do about 6 more loads before I make my purchase, and then I'll start increasing the time higher, and then I'll just silage until one of the fields is ready. Actually, I think that one should be ready soon. I can actually check. That one's ready. I can harvest. Let me buy the machine first because the whole field isn't ready yet. So technically, I'm gonna have to move that harvester. Might as well get it working because it's gonna be sitting here a while. That's the cultivator. Thank God for that. The plow helps me carve out new fields, and then oh, wrong field. Had to buy another plow. I was using too many plows. Too many plows, too many tractors. I had to simplify the process. That's the silage up off to the right. That's where that other tractor is. That's been dumping the silage into the machine. Field? What's wrong with you? Why aren't you ready? Where am I? Oh, next field over. Yeah, I see it. Wait, no, I can't. I have to be there. See, I gotta turn this field into something else. Because it's becoming a little bit too much to have 4 fields. It's just at the point where it's a bit too much. So that should plant. That's what happens. That green over there, when you mess with time, which is why I'm trying to not mess with time, because I have those potatoes harvesting and they're already fucked up. So yeah. Okay, then we're still waiting on canola. We'll be waiting on this a while, but it'll be ready probably by the time I finish that field. Doubt it. But if I mess with only if I mess with time, which damn it. Should probably think about investing in another tractor, or this is the second to best tractor. The red tractor that you saw briefly holding a trailer. Fuck. Is actually stronger. Not technically faster than this one, but it's stronger, so it holds things better when I make turns. And I don't know if that's just a mechanic of the game. It definitely is. But I haven't driven the semi yet, and that might make things less difficult. But until I get one, I don't know. So who knows? I might come back to this farm just to carry out my work. I'll be like, all right, I'm kind of tired with what I did over here, because I already have another farm going where I'm now doing this, or less of this. Okay, let me get that last scoop. And then I'll have that potato harvester, and then I can focus on... I'm gonna do 3 scoops. If I do it in real time, I can do 3 scoops. It'll actually process all 3. So, and that's the limit. Okay, potato harvester. Here's the thing with harvesting. Beets and potatoes, you have to have what's called a topper, and what that does is it cuts off all the foliage above the actual fruit, which is the potato or the beet. So that's this machine, the Grimmy, the one over there, the KS75-4. That's what it does, it cuts that off. And this one picks up the potatoes, and then, you do your thing. And this one does both. So I'm just buying it straight out because I don't feel like dealing with both because I have the money to not have to deal with it. I'm doing so well with silage. I have that system packed or down packed that I can exploit other ventures to its fullest potential. So, and we'll go ahead and hand deliver. Oh fuck! No, I have to fill up this implement before I can continue. Good thing we are in real time. This is the Lamborghini tractor, the white one. It is powerful enough to operate most machinery without too much hindrance. Fuck. But it is not strong enough to pull the tractors at a speed that I'm comfortable with. Alright, cool. We made it. We're still alive. Actually, you know what? Fuck it. We're going to cheat. Is that the potato thingy? Is that the potato thingy? Yep. Okay. And then we're going to reset that. Okay. Tractor. Go to the white. That's the best one. The most expensive one. It's with the canola. Enter vehicle. Okay, and I just pretty much teleported back to the farm where I'm going to fill what's called the implement with seed. And seeing as it looks like I may have fucked with my money or something, I don't know why it's not just filling. Because even though the planter was out of seed, it still plants seed. It just takes it out of your money. I don't know if there's a limit to that, but whatever. This is how you fill up with your seed to sow the field. Which potatoes just, you plant a potato and you get a potato plant and it grows more potatoes. That's how potatoes work. Actually, one time, found a potato plant growing out of a piece of cooked potato that my mom had made in my compost back when I lived in Mississippi. And I thought it was so cool. I literally went to work. Guys, I had the coolest thing happen to me today. And this was in Mississippi where they're like, wow, you watched a plant grow? Okay, whatever, bro. And they're just like, what else are you doing with your life? I'm like, this is it. You know? But I was so excited. I hate having to go up around this road, and this is why the Lamborghini is not that great, because it doesn't handle hills as easy as the others do. And I'm not saying they're much better, but it's still, you can tell it's struggling. This is one of the lower ends. This is one of the higher low end tractors. There's only one Lamborghini. Lamborghini probably made it a long time ago, and they've just been trying to. It was so high tech that it's still relevant, but it's not the most powerful machine there is anymore. But they're not going to build another Lamborghini tractor, you know, and that happens. You know, they're still being made. They're just not as popular. People buy them because it's Lamborghini. That's why they buy it. And they can charge out the ass to get it. Quality, the same machine. Weirdly retro, weird retro cult following. It's like the iPhone of a long time ago. If you really want to get technical, I think. I don't know that for sure. I don't know how those facts really roll in comparison to history, but I'm using my imagination. Okay. Okay, well that's gonna work, and it will finish on its own. We are lined up. We got our money. our farmers will keep working, and we are ready to harvest this corn. Yep, this is it. 8 feet at a time. Now this harvester is the one of the only ones that can do silage. The others don't have the same type of implement, or not implements, harvesting tools. The, what do they call it? Oh, in the wrong machine. The forks, the fork mechanism. This is the only one that works on this machine as for use in silage. Otherwise, it's this, or I do grass, and you can't automatically mow grass with anybody. You have to hand grow grass. So this is I don't even know if it's faster than mowing grass, because I'm doing the same amount of driving. It's just the money is the best out of it. So if I spend, it requires more of my actual hand-eye coordination with my own work, with the buttons. Oh, here's the connection to that smaller field, and if we're lucky, we'll get to see a car drive through my field. But that's pretty much. There was a field over there, then I turned it to grass, and I was like, well, let me see if I can connect the two, and what'll happen. So as you can see, I destroyed some of these natural lines that were straight already, but I knew the machine would already chop it up, and it would still keep a straight line. So it wouldn't mess up this harvest too much, so I had some wiggle room on the sides, as long as I didn't mess up the corners. So I am going to have to trim it up once things start getting planted. That way things keep moving. When I can just drop off a planter and he does all the work, and drop off a cultivator and he does all the work. All of it, not just some of it, because I missed a spot. So right now I'm just trimming the land. Which is a smart thing to do, if you ask me. Honestly, if this was in a real map on my land, I would probably be a pretty dumb farmer, but because I got this aerial view and I can look at other shit, This is the hardest part about the whole harvesting mechanism. Coordinating this turn. Okay, now if I cut out before he starts to make his turn, I have more control and easier method of interaction. And then I can sneak behind him, make sure he's in position, give him that moment. I can meet up with him on the side. Ugh, this happens a lot. On the side of him. That's initiating the automatic procedure. Keeping close enough, having a few bumps along the way. Sometimes I get it smooth and it doesn't do that. And then finding my place right back next to the harvester. And this is the hardest work out of it all. Everything else is just making sure I'm not hitting the implement. I've actually run over the attachments. The header, that's what it's called, the header. The header is the forks on the front. So that's 2 lines, but I have to sit here and actually harvest with him. And eventually my container's going to fill up, and I'm going to have to drive it back to the silage facility, come back, turn around, line up, and go again. So until this entire field is done, and this, I think, is my first harvest off of this field. I've just already implemented another idea from other fields on it. Because I also had to recut that field. So otherwise, because I did my round to get my machine to start planting corn, and got my implement and my harvester, or my header and my harvester, and told myself I'm gonna have to replow that field in order to utilize that space. because I can't leave it grass. I just had to figure out how, and then I thought about when I learned about connecting fields, through YouTube. Um, I was like, oh, I can connect these together and it'll be more worth it to make that field because it'll make this field bigger. Um, I just had to get the money to buy the field. And it was like almost 400 grand. Maybe less. I don't remember. Definitely above 250, maybe 280. So it's not like I haven't had that money before. I just had to simplify my process. And honestly, I really could, if I want to, make this my only silage field and actually connect it to number 14. And then now I'm only working off of one field to do all my silage, and then the bottom can be something else. So we'll see what it turns into and what I decide. But there's only so many options, especially with planting and regular old farming, because besides canola, corn, beets, potatoes, there's barley and wheat and grass. So that's farming. If I want to be like, I could do cows, but cows requires a lot of coordination between feeds in order to really make sure they're healthy. So you get the milk per hour that you're supposed to get paid for, and then it's kind of an automatic process. But then you also have to grow the feed and then actually feed the cows. So it's not technically hard, but not an aspect of the game I really want to explore. So like I got chickens, but I actually have to go pick up the eggs. And I don't know if it's a glitch, but every place I've gone to sell the eggs, I don't get the money for it. So I don't know what's happening. I don't know if it's something wrong with the game, or if they just never developed it properly, and who the fuck cares about eggs. So they were probably like, we don't give a shit about eggs because nobody else cares about eggs. This container's going to be full soon. I can already feel the difference in speed because I'm going uphill and I have that extra weight. Almost there. This is called chaff, by the way. I am collecting and harvesting this corn to turn it into what's called chaff. And what I've learned about chaff, alright, that's empty, or I'm full, so he's going to stop. I'll make my drop off at the side, at the biogas facility. Hang on, this can be tricky if I hit a bump. Send me flying. There's only one way to lose anything you've collected, and that's with the bulldozer, the motherfucker over here that scoops all the silage. I can't remember what it's called. This guy that's does all the scooping. And unload. I actually have to be careful how I unload this stuff, because it'll affect the way I can drive on it. Okay, that's good. It's empty, but I gotta compact it, so I'm gonna do some compacting because I don't want to compact with this in order to get it flattened. And you can actually see the flattening process sometimes. It's easier to see when it's more empty, but this guy's at 55%. And that was 59,000 pounds, so it just dropped off there. And that only gives me 6% of the facility, of that little line. And I've only gone as high as 65%. And that's the one that I was just digging out of a few minutes ago. Let's go back and complete my harvest. But what I was saying is corn becomes what's called chaff. And that chaff goes through a fermenting process, which is what I just was trying to do. I was putting it into a pile. I took my chaff and just put it in a pile, And when it's ready, when I decide I have to compact it, they'll put it in a bag and they'll actually wrap the pile in a bag. They'll do an animation or whatever, um, insignificant one, and then it actually has a percentage. It takes 12 hours to ferment in the game. From what I understand, it takes months in real life. Uh, and then I take that, it becomes that brown stuff, which was in the pile over there next to that green stuff. And then I use the bulldozer, pick it up, and or the front loader is what it's called, to pick it up, scoop it into the machine, and that's how I make my money doing what's called silage. And you can do that with the corn or the grass. So you can buy a mower and you can get something that picks up the grass as it gets cut, and then take it over there, and that's also chaff. The grass is chaff, um, or considered chaff. I don't know if it's technically the scientific name. So I could, if I wanted to, buy a mower, do that exact process, and add it to that same green pile. And it just becomes a part of the process, or becomes a part of the fermenting process. Um, but I have not sat down and figured out what my time to money ratio it works best, because I feel like even though if I were to turn all these cornfields to grass fields instead and mow, the amount of time it takes to fill up what I can use with a mower, um, in comparison to this process, um, where I'm growing the corn, having another machine, collecting the harvest, then driving it over there. It's probably a marginal difference on money. So I think I make more money doing it this way, but only by a small, not, I wouldn't say a fraction, but maybe like 4% better, 4% profitability, and maybe 50% less boredom. So, yeah, I could do this more than I could fucking mow. Although mowing wasn't very hard. When I was doing it, I didn't have a really good tractor, and if you go up a hill while trying to mow, while also trying to carry a heavy trailer, with a bad tractor, it can be really tiresome. I'm sure if I had a really good tractor now, I should try it. I really should see what it's like. Get another mower and pick up another machine. But I don't think the trailers for a mower work. Fuck. Every time. Are as big as the trailer that I can use doing this. So I end up saving time, and this is where you get your 4% increase, is I have to drop off less, because I can carry more. So I don't have to drive there as often. But honestly, I'm probably only saving maybe one trip per field, or two fields. So I'm just going one less time than I would be any other way. And that's how you play this game. You have to sit there and calculate what's the more profitable option, Or actually, you got to do it like you live in the South. How are we going to make more money? So, we have that. Let me check my other fields while I'm here. That's the field we're on over there. This is the potato harvester. I should go ahead and drive this over to the potato field just to get him ready. And I just dumped all that silage into that machine to buy this potato harvester. And this thing drives like a wreck. Alright, let me get a better field. Okay, we're going to drop by both our canola fields. That one is not ready, though it is ready to go once that shit gets brown. This is a slow as fuck tractor. And I gotta tell you what, how do I empty this thing? Lower the harvester, unfold. Hold the harvester, turn on cruise. The beacon lights. This, I may have to bulldoze all those potatoes up there, because if this is as fast as this machine goes, it's gonna have a hard time getting up the hill. And then if I gotta carry it to a store to drop it off, which I don't think I have to. There's not enough potato fields. There's another potato field. I could do another potato field at 9, and then it would probably be more worth it. Because I can actually take all my harvests to the warehouse. Does the warehouse take potatoes? Because I have to think about that too. If I'm driving across the map, what's the point of growing it there? You know? Where? Let's see. It's this button. What was it? The warehouse potatoes? Only 431 a ton. Again, canola is my best bet with the money. I could take it to the warehouse, but the flour mill gives me slightly better increase than the diner. The diner is closer. So, if I'm only making $50 difference, does it really matter where I fucking deliver it to? Per ton? This is gonna take a while. Once the harvester is up there, and I got those 2 fields, then I can have another trailer attached to another tractor, and he can just manage the deliveries in that area. That's how it's done. Come on. You got this. This is as far out as the camera can go. I think normally I'd have to drive this motherfucker like this. Hell no. Good thing you can hire workers. Again, this is the biggest one, the biggest potato harvester, because you can do both the vegetation destroying, like in the front implement cuts off the vegetation that grows above the field. Is this the field? No, I'm still not at the field. Come on. We made it. Okay, we're doing good. I think there's another hill. Up here. Like what is this saying? Maybe they're watching my broadcast. Hang on. Yeah. I was told my niece was coming to visit. Maybe they're watching. I really don't want to play Minecraft right now. Maybe later. Ashlyn, I love you. Okay. Whoa, whoa. Whoa, oh, okay. Whoa. Alright. Anyway, this is the more expensive harvester. And it both cuts off the tops, the greens. You can see those greens. These are my potato fields. This is my potato planter. We are working together on this field, and I think I can leave this tractor up here and he'll just do exactly this, I guess, every time. I don't know what I'm going to have to do to cultivate the land afterward. I may have to plow it, so I'll have to buy another plow and deliver it. Oh, I'm in the negative on my money right now. Just like my life. Okay, where is... Alright. I'll go back to silaging. Yep, alright. I'm getting an invite. It's probably my niece. Hello. Hey. Yes. Give me just a minute. Yeah. Let's go to your world today, okay? Alright, I'll be there soon, okay? Just, I gotta save my game, and then,
Video thing, and I put wow to go home.
wow, to go home.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I love you.
I love you. Give me just a minute. I gotta set up Minecraft here. Are you on Minecraft right now? Okay, go ahead and go on Minecraft.